Under a gray October sky in 2027, in rural Greene County, Tennessee, Lena Carter stood on her porch, hands dusted with soil from her morning in the garden. Her 5 acres, edged by weathered pines and a creek that whispered history, were her sanctuary, bought with every cent of her military pension. She'd served 16 years as a Marine K-9 handler, survived 2 tours in Syria, and trained her dogs, Shadow and Valor, to detect danger before it struck. But now, danger wasn't a bomb in the desert. It was 6 armed deputies forming a semicircle across her pumpkin patch, their boots crushing her harvest without a second thought. Sheriff Daniel Holt stepped forward, his hand resting on his holster, voice sharp with authority. "You match the description," he said, eyes narrowing. "That's all we need." Lena didn't flinch. Soil still clung to her gloves, her baseball cap shading her steady gaze. "This is my land," she said, voice calm but ironclad. "You need a warrant to step closer." Holt smirked, his tone dripping with disdain. "You people always think the rules are for you." The words hung heavy, raw and unfiltered, in the crisp morning air. One deputy, young and twitchy, kicked over a basket of zucchini. Another unclipped his taser, muttering, "Crazy vet." Lena's pulse stayed even. She'd faced worse than this: hostile checkpoints, sniper fire, nights where the stars felt like threats. She pressed a hidden button on her watch. A soft buzz confirmed it. Sentinel Shield protocol activated, recording live. 10 minutes earlier, Lena had been planting rosemary, her routine as precise as her military drills: 5-mile run at dawn, feeding Shadow and Valor, then tending her garden. Now, her quiet Tuesday was a standoff. Shadow and Valor, in their retired Marine K-9 vests, stood ready inside the house, trained for silence, for war. Holt, oblivious, nodded to his men. "Check the barn," he said. "She's hiding something." 2 deputies moved left, one toward the shed, his body angled to conceal something. A glint of foil slipped behind her compost bin. Lena's jaw tightened. "Sheriff Holt," she called, voice like a blade, "you're trespassing. I don't consent to any search." He ignored her, but she saw the drone camera above the barn pivot, its motion-synced feed uploading to her off-site server. Then, a signal, just a slight raise of her hand. The front door creaked, and Shadow glided out, amber eyes locked on the deputies, Valor behind her, 90 pounds of disciplined muscle. Their vests read, U.S. Marine K-9, active retired. The youngest deputy froze. "Sir, those are military dogs." Holt's face hardened. "Control them," he snapped. "They're not animals," Lena said evenly. "They're federal assets, and they'll protect me unless I say otherwise." The air crackled with tension, pine needles swaying in the breeze. Then, gravel crunched. A Channel 5 news van rolled up. Reporter Sarah Lynn stepped out, camera rolling. "Sheriff Holt, care to comment on this warrantless raid on a veteran's property?" Holt paled but held his ground, his eyes promising this wasn't over. The deputies retreated, but Lena knew this was just the opening shot. Back inside, she checked her encrypted system. Every second of the encounter captured from 4 angles: drone, dash cam, body audio, and Valor's harness. She sat at her command desk, half living room, half war room, and pulled up the footage. The deputy's foil drop was clear as day. She saved it, time-stamped it, and sent one word to her secure network: flagged. Within minutes, a reply pinged: received. This wasn't just about her land. It was about power, greed, and a company called Apex Dynamics, sniffing around her property for a logistics hub. 3 days earlier, a letter had arrived, hand-delivered, no stamp, from the county. It flagged her land for zoning review under some vague Tennessee ordinance. Lena burned it in her fire pit. The next day, a man in a black SUV idled outside her gate, staring at his phone for 20 minutes before leaving. A flyer appeared in her mailbox: "Sell high before the corridor boom." She'd seen this before, helping a veteran friend in Alabama fight similar pressure. It always started with paper, then intimidation, then escalation. Now, they were targeting her dogs, painting them as threats to justify their move. Lena didn't wait. She called Marcus Tate, a former DARPA engineer who'd co-designed the Sentinel Shield, a veteran-built defense system she had override access to. "They're squeezing me," she told him. "Apex and the county are in bed." Marcus promised to dig into Apex's funding and county budgets. Meanwhile, Lena drove into town, her marine jacket pressed, boots polished. At the bank, manager Paul Reed offered a fake smile, his hands shaky as he printed her loan balance. "All clear," he said, but his eyes betrayed him. Lena knew guilt when she saw it. That night, she found the foil pouch behind the compost bin meth packaging, planted to frame her. She bagged it, froze it, and logged it. Apex was playing dirty, but she was ready. By dawn, social media erupted with a local post. Blurry footage of Lena at her gate, labeled a militia threat with combat dogs. The comments were vicious, but Lena traced the source to a shell group tied to Apex. She called Tara Evans, a DC-based civil rights lawyer. "They're smearing me," Lena said. "Full burn," Tara replied. "We'll expose their funding and subpoena the sheriff." The next day, Tara's blog dropped the bomb. Apex Dynamics targets veteran land with fake complaints. Screenshots, donation trails, and a leaked audio of a county official saying, "Veterans are easier to discredit." The post went viral. Veterans shared it. Dog handlers posted clips of shadow and valor in drills. A retired general called it a disgrace to those who served. By evening, Senator Laura Brooks invited Lena to testify in D.C. about veteran land grabs. At the hearing, Lena unrolled a map of targeted veteran properties, 42% owned by Black veterans, all near development zones. "This isn't random," she said, holding up Apex's emails. "They call us legacy blockers. They sent cops to my home, tried to take my dogs, burned my marker for a Black soldier's grave." The room froze. She didn't raise her voice, but her words cut deep. "I don't want sympathy. I want accountability, a federal registry for land vote donations, a moratorium on veteran land enforcement." Veterans stood behind her, unprompted, a wall of silent support. Back home, the county pushed a rezoning vote to seize her land via eminent domain. But at the hearing, 200 people showed up, veterans, activists, even a council member who defected, killing the proposal. That night, a man dug up Apex's buried survey maps from Lena's fence line, exposing their lies about protected land. Lena sent the files to Tara, Senator Brooks, and the DOJ. The next day, Apex's stock crashed and indictments hit their executives. Weeks later, the Carter Protocol was adopted for federal training, ensuring no veteran would face what Lena did. She returned to her land, shadow and valor at her side, the silence no longer a threat but a victory. A letter from a school kid read, "You showed us power can be quiet." Lena filed it away, her folder of proof she wasn't crazy now full. What would you do if your home was targeted like Lena's? Would you fight with silence or shout back? Who's the real threat, those who stand their ground or those who pull the strings? Share your thoughts below, and if this hit you, like, comment, and subscribe for more stories that cut through the noise.